For you guys out there that are fighting with doing braided line and putting on your AN fittings,
Pull on there. I just can't get it. It just won't work. What's going on?
little things that'll bite you along the way if you're not prepared for, I want to tackle those things with you guys, all right? This is going to be the fuel line that's going to go from the front bowl to the regulator. Got my fittings, got my line. This is not pre-cut to size. I'm going to show you guys how to do that because a lot of times people will undercut these and then you're screwed going, oh my gosh, I got to buy another foot long of this. So we'll get into that. Now, also, I'm lucky enough to have these cutters. If you do not have these, you can use a cutoff wheel. You make your line wherever you want it to be, put some electrical tape around it, and then slice it right off and you're good to go. But let's address this. The frayed out ends that we have here, sometimes people will fight and fight and fight. What am I talking about? All right. You'll deal with something like that, and it's like, man, it won't go on there. I just can't get it. It just won't work. What's going on? All right, I'm going to show you a little trick here. Get yourself a zip tie. What we're going to do is we're going to run that up, not quite all the way to the tip. We want to just have a little bit off. Now, we're going to be able to take this end, stick it in there. If you notice, it's going to be all the way around. We're good to go. Now, push down and twist. Once it starts to get on there, we're good to go. Now, let's get a pair of wire cutters, cut the zip tie off. So now, I'm just going to pop this off. Whoop. There we go. That's off. There we go, and we're seated all the way in. That's it. So how many times I've heard people go, man, this is just absolutely awful. That is one trick to be able to get it on, so you guys don't have to fight and fight and fight. Now, next little trick here is going to be getting these two assembled. One thing we're definitely going to need. Let me go get it. Ta-da-da! We got options. A little assembly lube, or it'd be WD-40 or BB Blast. Now, what you're going to want to do is, the rubber inside here is going to be really hard to go through. As this pushes itself through, it's just, it's trying to get through. You got to have some sort of lubricant in there, all right? Now, you might have to, in the hole here, open that hole up a little bit to get this guy to go inside. What you can use is a bolt, maybe even a screwdriver, because sometimes as you're putting this on, it'll kind of fold up. So, let's say we grab a screwdriver. Get yourself a Phillips, don't do a flat. Stick it in there and just kind of open the hole up a little bit just to make sure everything's going good. Now, we can slip it in, boop, we feel the threads start to go, we're good to go. Now this right here, I don't know how many times I've seen people do this and stop 1/8 of an inch and flat out have gone, I can feel it, it feels like it's gonna break. Guys, grab a little bit of assembly lube, or you can do it with the WD-40. Put just a little drop on there. What happens is, it starts getting so hot and it starts binding itself up because why? These are aluminum, man. So we want to make sure that that's lubed up. So as it's going, it's just nice and smooth as it rotates in. And I will say this is on an 8 AN line. You start going down to 4 AN, 6 AN, they are notorious for snapping. Put something on there, a drop of oil, a little bit of WD-40 or BB Blast, or even a little bit of assembly lube. You might not have the money to spend and get the aluminum vise clamps that they offer. You know, they're 35, 40, 60 bucks depending on who it is. Guys, you can grab just a shop rag, double it up. Don't go super tight, okay? And just have it above the edge, because when this sandwiches down, we want to make sure we don't catch any part of the blue rag. Then all we're going to do is we're just going to lock this thing down. Now, as you start getting close to the bottom, yes, you'd want to use an aluminum wrench. This is steel. But as you start going down, what will happen is this will start to climb itself down or move itself down. Once you start getting close to the red, you won't be paying attention, but these little ears will start digging into here. Just keep track of what you're doing. You start getting close to the bottom, and you can hear this is not going eek, 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 because I put some assembly lube in there. Now we're getting close to the bottom. Stop. Make sure everything's clear. Make sure it's up. You can feel it with the bottom of your finger. You just push it above this lip just to make sure you're not going to gouge into it, and the thing will stop. There we go. Now, when you set this bad boy up, what you're going to do is unscrew this, take it off. All right, we don't need it. Why? That right there is where you're measuring to, okay? So many times I've seen it with people putting the red on and they'll measure way low or they'll measure way, way high. That is where we're gonna measure this out at. So you put it on, take your line, put it to where it is, and then at that point, give yourself a little extra for some movement. And I'm not saying give it an inch, but give it 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. There is where I got my blue mark. We don't want any kink in the line, all right? We don't want to take this and put it down too low and then really kink this. You have to remember, you have this little red fitting that's still going to be on there. So from here to here, it has to be straight. So we want to make sure at this point, we're not really pulling like a hard 90-degree angle or anything like that. We want it to still come out and be rounded for what I'm doing here. That's where I'm going to give myself a little extra slack. So now, if I line up that mark, see how it comes out? It's nice and rounded, coming in, we're gold. I don't know if I really want to spend the money on a set of cutters like this. If you're only doing this braided stuff maybe this one time on your car, or it's very rare, well, it might not be worth it to you. You can get away doing the grinder and all that. But here we do a whole lot more than just once in a blue moon. So the nice thing with these is that's how nice of a cut you get. Better than any grinder. This thing is just great. So then at that point, I don't have to sit there and I don't have to fight with doing the zip ties and all that stuff. I can just simply whoop, put it on and I'm done. It's that quick, that easy. So might be a good investment for you guys if you want to do it. If not, hey, you know the other way to do it. So let's get the rest of this put on. Let's go put it on the car. There we go. As you can see, no kinks in the line. Everything fits nice and smooth all the way up. Now, this little fitting right here is a dummy fitting. I will be using this to run my pressure gauge, which I got up there. But that is it, my friends. That is how easy it is to do this stuff. If you get caught and you're dealing with those freaking blood-fingering frayed ends that we've all had to deal with, and you keep cutting and you keep cutting and you keep cutting and you can't get it, next thing you know, you've cut way too much out of your line. You got to go buy a new line. Use the zip tie trick, my friends. It has saved me so many times. Guys, it's not that big of a deal. You can do this yourself. Just take your time, okay? So, till we meet again, my friends, take care. See ya.